You ready?
Ready for what? Something that'll really hit the spot.
Always quick with a joker to light up your smoke.
It's fun and educational.
Welcome to Coffee Talk, a joint production between 3WV and Higher Education. Seth's here from Higher Education.
Hello.
Ashley from 3WV.
Hey, hey.
And
Clay from the Grong
from
guy.
Grong. I'm so sorry. All I can think of is Grong. The Grong guy.
Well, you can't go wrong with the Grong.
Ah, nice.
And it's better than saying
Too
bong.
cliche, I know.
So, Clay, the Grong guy, created the Grong, and we're going to talk about that today. But for now, we're just going to talk about our week, I guess, right? What'd you do this week, Seth?
I worked. It's the only thing I ever do. You know.
Same thing we do every night, Pinky.
That's kind of sad.
Trying to take over the world.
Well, that too. That's why I'm working.
That's right.
The whole point.
Right.
Working to educate people.
No, to take over the world.
Right. Through education.
Through education. Yeah.
Through higher education.
That's right. That's right. There we go. I just want people to be happy.
Exactly. When people are happy, they believe you and they like you. And they want to make you happy.
So, did you say you raise bees?
I do. I have some bees that I'm keeping at home right now.
How do you raise bees? Do you
Well, you have to get you get a bee box, a place for them to live, and then once you've got your bee box all set up, you can go get a queen bee and a colony. We've got my family. My mother works at Roost Chris Steakhouse, and so she's met some cool people, and we actually have a bee guy. So if we have any bee issues, or if we need a new queen, or something else happens, we talk to our bee guy.
They have a bee guy.
This is my first season keeping bees. We'll see how it goes.
That's pretty neat.
I have a bee issue at my house.
Yeah, he does. He has his own. He keeps bees, but he doesn't want to.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
Oh.
I didn't choose them. They chose me.
Well, maybe you can relocate them.
Actually, I believe there is a way to.
That's been done before.
Yeah.
You have to
This
find
is
the
why
queen
You got me
and-
excited. I'm like, you can have my bees.
Yeah, well, I mean,
You just
quite
have to
possibly.
come and get them.
I will more than happily put through the chain what we need to do about removing some bees.
There was
Are they?
buckets of
They're
them,
honeybees?
They're honeybees. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a
I
solution
got rid
to
of
that
them
problem.
at one point. I had somebody come and take them. Actually.
Yeah.
Like, they pulled out all the hives.
Uh-huh.
And, they
And all
said
the
they had the
honeycomb.
queen, and now they're back again.
Well, maybe you've just got a really good environment for them.
Apparently, yes. In the soffit fascia of my house.
Right.
Up in the roof, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
Perfect.
my husband just out of nowhere 2 years ago became allergic to bees. It was never an issue his entire life. And then all of a sudden, I guess he got stung too many times.
That can happen.
And yeah, so now he's anaphylactic. And I'm not going to say funny when he gets stung. But his ears will swell up. It's
real
like
puffy.
eyelids, everything. And so he needs like the EpiPen.
Keep that EpiPen nearby and some
Yeah.
Benadryl. And things to know or to check into, I can't say I know this, but I've heard that it's possible that some people, once they develop an allergy to bees, they can get worse and worse as they get stung more, like to the point where that next one might be
it. So I shouldn't make fun of him when he gets stung.
I look more into that.
Okay.
No, but
I
other
love
cool
this.
note for anybody out there listening that keeps bees, if you don't know who Paul Stamets is, he's the mushroom guru, and he's discovered that some concentrates of reishi mushroom and chaga mushroom will help the immune systems of bees to help them fight against small wing virus. And so that's really cool. I'll be keeping an eye on that to see if I can reproduce those results with my own mushroom growing with my own bees. But in the meantime, anyone that's interested should go check out, I believe it's fungi.com for more information on how to save the bees with Paul Stamets' mushrooms.
That's pretty cool.
I like mushrooms.
Oh, yeah. There's absolutely a billion uses for them. Presumably, we haven't really been looking at fungus mushrooms the way we've been looking at plants for medicines until, really just recently. There's been a resurgence of research in that department, and they're finding just so many solutions to a lot of the problems that people are having with their health that could simply be a dietary deficiency. If people got
we
more
have mushrooms
in their diet.
We have actually been selling recently. We have mushroom capsules at our store.
That's right.
mushrooms with CBD in it. And
I
we
had
have,
those. I tried them from you guys. I
have,
like it. Yeah.
chaga,
Chaga mushroom, yes.
and we have shiitake, and
Absolutely.
we have
Reishi.
and we have lion's mane.
Yep.
Lion's mane is actually a really amazing mushroom. It's been shown to, I believe it's been, I could be wrong about this, double check me, but I believe it's been shown to reduce the effects of dementia
Yes.
when used in older patients.
Yes.
Although I think that's only throughout while being used. The symptoms will come right back if they don't maintain that diet.
So it's supposed to help with mental acuity. In your brain, we have pathways that are going through, and in life, it's kind of like a hose.
Neurons, axons,
sometimes
dendrites.
the connection starts getting, free radicals break it down over time, and that sheath no longer protects that electrical
That
firing that's
mechanism,
happening.
right.
And the mushrooms actually recreate that.
Okay.
So lion's mane actually creates, so if you're thinking of an electric wire, I guess it creates that coating on the outside of
Right.
it in your brain. It actually recreates that, and,
Okay.
and that prevents the misfiring that happens.
So maybe another analogy, and I might be wrong about this. You're saying that a sheathing breaks down. From what I understand, a lot of the problems caused by Alzheimer's and dementia are from heavy metal buildup in the brain. And so what these mushrooms will do is, as you're saying, they're firing. If you imagine like a spark plug, how after years of use, you'll get a lot of corrosion on the tip of that spark plug. And so very much like running a fuel treatment through your system, running these mushrooms through your system will help smooth off those tips so you get good firing mechanisms. I might be, again, totally wrong about the mechanism of action.
Sure. But basically what it does somehow is
cleans up your system.
Yeah, and helps your brain fire faster.
Right, yeah.
It helps with your, I guess, memory and everything. So as I'm sitting here going, apparently I didn't take it.
Memory, cognition. There's a lot of
Yeah.
immune benefits. I mean, mushrooms, there's so many health
Yeah.
benefits. I highly recommend everyone.
We have 6 different varieties at the store, and
Just
they
check
didn't
'em out.
consider us actually talking about this today, so I didn't even, bring my little cheat sheet of info.
Well, no, that's
I know, it sucks. Did you bring yours?
No.
Well, maybe we
And
can
I
have
probably
them
know
back.
least about them with any of us.
that's all right.
Yeah.
No, the important part is that people know to go take a closer look at the mushrooms that
Yeah.
are available to you, because they can significantly improve your
And
health.
it's wonderful if you just can eat them and add them as part of your diet. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to, there's encapsulated versions of them, and you can definitely get a lot of it very quickly
Sure.
by encapsulating it. And some of us with finicky taste buds just prefer to not eat things.
Mushrooms have an odd consistency. Not a lot of people like to eat them.
Yeah.
But
The
if you
sponge
go
is
on down to
weird.
higher education, you can get them in capsule form.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's something about, the fact that people know that mushrooms grow out of shit, too. It's hard to want to.
It can. As it turns out, if you, again,
Or
I'm
rotten
sorry,
trees.
I'm
Yeah,
plugging
yeah.
this website, but if you go to fungi.com, you can get these little woods dowel rods
Yeah.
that come
Sure.
pre-inoculated. You can actually
Yeah,
take a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
the old oak that you have lying around.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, I know, and I know that they grow out of many different things.
Sure. But that's definitely
But
one of
there's
the
still, there's
that
something to it.
preconception about
Yes,
it for sure.
Exactly.
Yes.
They are funky, but I'd eat some mushrooms.
Man, today's a holiday too. We probably should have thought about getting some mushrooms. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other interesting thing is I feel like growing mushrooms and being familiar with the process of mushrooms is probably going to be the next wave. Everyone is getting ready for July 1st, of course, with the plants. There, some people may be getting started a little early, maybe. Who knows? But
They're smart, they are.
yeah, right. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I didn't say that. So, the same thing is true. If you felt like you were really cool because 5 years ago you knew what you were doing, growing your plants out back, well, now's the time to be that guy that knows how to grow mushrooms, because there is a absolute plethora of fantastic things you can do with them. Fantastic things you can do with them.
I used to live out in Fort Collins, Colorado, and one of my friends owned a woodworking shop. And one day, this gentleman came along and was like, "Hey, how do you get rid of all your shavings?" And he was like, "I don't know. I pay this other guy to take them away." And he's like, "No. Really, you can pay me to take them away." So he paid. and I can't remember the price, but
Sure.
whatever. But he just undercut by just a tiny, tiny fraction to get this beautiful, fresh wood. And basically, after maybe a year or so, he asked the guy one day, like, "Dude, what are you doing?" And it turns out that he was a mushroom grower,
Right.
And he was getting just high quality,
Sawdust.
Sawdust, and completely for free. Someone was
Yeah.
paying him to pick it up, so that he could then make mushroom.
it's so
It
beautiful.
was a wonderful, wonderful idea, And I guess this was 20 years ago because my child was a little boy, so I remember being like, oh, brilliant. But you got to make sure nowadays, I guess they're turning all of this sawdust into so many other things like those little
Other products. Yeah.
pellets for pellet stoves and everything else that I don't think it's quite as easy to get.
Sure. Kitty litter.
Yeah.
Well, even
yeah.
like particle board or composite wood materials.
Sure. Yeah.
And the price of wood is so expensive.
But interesting point. I find that mushrooms are kind of like a third leg of a tripod that we've just totally forgotten about. Mushrooms can break down all kinds of materials. They are what creates soil, from what I understand.
Yep.
And so if I learned recently that there is a variety of mushroom that will actually grow on plastics.
Yep.
And
I saw
so
this too.
I'm trying a pilot program at home. If I can get this mushroom to grow outside in a compost pile where I throw my plastic bottles and whatnot, and just have a natural plastic compost where
Neat.
that plastic then turns into food because these mushrooms are edible. That would mean that I would be able to make sure that anything that I purchased, I wouldn't have to throw in the trash. I would make sure that anything I purchased, I could personally recycle because, you'll have to check the statistics, but I'm under the impression that a large amount of recycling material just winds up in the landfill anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if it doesn't, it costs more to actually.
I mean, after you've transported around, burned how many fossil fuels and man hours and paid people and all this other stuff.
Yeah, recycling is unfortunately
we gotta actually do the recycling ourselves. And with mushrooms, I think you can pretty much personally recycle 95% of the waste materials if we can figure out a economic solution to recycling your plastics at home.
Absolutely. Reusing is also another good thing,
Oh, absolutely.
If you have things like bubble wrap or peanuts, take them to a local packaging store because they'll reuse them in cardboard boxes.
Right.
They'll get reused. So often you go and you see people donating beautiful cardboard boxes.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're literally giving them to a dump to recycle when you're like, no, someone else could be using them.
And this is how markets are made. If somebody had checked on Facebook Marketplace, I'm sure there's 5 college kids right now that would pay for boxes.
Yeah.
Someone just needs to bridge that connection.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So,
and our landfill would be that much less.
that much less. Yeah, that's another thing I've done is obviously I think we're all trying to declutter at some point, but instead of just taking all this old stuff I have an old like coffee maker, and a lot of people, they just get tired of this stuff, and if nobody wants it, take 2 seconds. It takes 2 seconds to pull out your phone, snap a horribly ugly picture, and post up to Facebook Marketplace for free. And the other thing is there's lots of public places where you can make exchanges. So if that's what you're worried about, or you can literally just take it up to your nearby grocery store or something like that, and let somebody know, hey, it'll be available up here.
Right. I live in Louisa, and in Louisa, we have free dumps, and at all the free dumps, you can leave stuff, and people can come pick it up, and they leave it there for at least the rest of the day.
Perfect.
And that's kind of nice. And there's always in Louisa, we also have a food pantry, and you can donate all kinds of stuff.
Right.
And it's free.
That's
it's free
really cool.
if you need anything.
I really like that idea. Like it's a really small spot, but down in Carytown, there's this little cabinet right there on the street that's just a take it or leave it. Books or food supplies or whatever you need.
Yeah, what a good idea.
Yeah.
So every once in a while I wear out some old shoes or something, but they're not toast. So I'm sure somebody could get some use out of them. I leave them over there, and sure enough, 2-3 days they're gone. Somebody has found some good use for them. So we could just get more personal reusing in the community. Make sure that you don't throw this stuff in the trash. Take 2 seconds, see if someone around you can put it to good use.
Absolutely. I had a family member pass away, and we had lots of bed linen and stuff that you're like, what are we going to do with all this extra stuff? And it turns out that SPCAs need that stuff so badly. And if it has a stain or this or that, people immediately think, oh, you got to throw it in the trash.
Recycle.org. Where to send type in what you have, and we'll tell you what to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, like
We need a
there's
database of what to do with this.
Yeah, totally.
yes, greener futures.
Well, shit, I'm not gonna lie. I've learned a lot in this first intro segment where I thought we were just hanging out, but I appreciate all the
Hi.
knowledge here. Now I think
Nice to meet you.
I think we need a break, right? A coffee break, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, coffee break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, we'll be back after these messages with higher education and 3WV's Coffee Talk.
CBD.
We will help you with your anxiety. We'll pick you up when you're feeling low. And nothing costs a pocket full of dough. Relax your body, free your mind. Higher Ed is the place to find.
CBD.
Let us help you with your anxiety. Now offering curbside pickup and shipping direct to your door. Just call to place your order at 434-293-HUFF. Higher Education, Charlottesville's CBD Superstore since 2017, providing high-quality CBD and education about all its amazing benefits. Higher Education, because CBD is a lifestyle, not just a greener trend. Be careful and smoke at home. And remember, share the experience, not the pipe.
Higher education is still open, so come in.
Best prices, best selection, most knowledgeable. Higher Education, Charlottesville CBD headquarters.
Welcome back. It's Coffee Talk, and we're back with
Clay.
we're back
The
with
Grong guy.
we're back with the Grong guy.
Greetings.
Clay. How are you today?
Oh, lovely. Moderate, as I like to say.
Moderate. So I'm holding on to your Grong, and I'm reading your shirt that says "Ask me about my Grong."
Ask
kinda
me
really
about
dirty.
my grong.
And the hand thing makes it
I'm
even
holding
better.
on to your grong.
The grong. Yeah. The grong is a
You mind if I touch your grong?
multifunctional tobacco pipe that has multiple layers. Here you can fit it into your 14 or your 18 millimeter glass water pipe as a slide. It fits 2 liters, 3 liters, and Gatorade bottles for gravity applications. You can use it by itself as a modified chillum. The glass piece pulls out easily, so you can use a toothpick to pop out the holes for easy cleaning and a Q-tip to clean the silicone body. But you can also stick an 18 millimeter male banger in there for doing concentrates of all the above. Now, the silicone body protects the glass bucket for the flour, not so much, of course, with the concentrate piece.
Sure.
But with the glass bucket in there, it's a very durable piece as well. So I'm not going to challenge anyone, but if you're not trying to, you're going to have a hard time breaking the thing,
Sure.
which is great. So for $20, you'll have a relatively inexpensive pipe that is more functional than probably 95% of the pieces you've ever had. So check it out at thegrong.com.
Can I take a look at it?
Oh, absolutely.
We have one in the studio. So for those of you who can't see us, no, I like the way it feels too.
Ergonomic design.
Yeah, I like it.
I found that when I was done with the design, I looked at it and I realized, there's something here because all good things replicate nature. And if you look at it, it looks very much like a tadpole. You know what I mean? It's very, so
I can
fits
see
in the
that.
hand,
Yeah.
has a nice little egg shape at the
yeah.
front, So I originally had it as a straight through unit, but I decided to put it at a 45-degree angle so that it would be easier to use both horizontally or vertically.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that it's got a foot too. It sits flat.
Oh, yeah, there's a flat spot on the bottom, so you can set it on the table. It won't roll around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so,
That's awesome. So what made you invent this?
well,
Where'd you get the idea?
honestly, all invention is just compounding old ideas. We take what we know, but so I was using an AC Grebes back in the day. Shout out to Andrew Crowder. Thank you very much for all of your innovation. You've inspired a new generation. But on top of that, I carry a Leatherman around in my pocket. I'm a tool-using kind of person. I understand the importance of if you have a problem and it's too difficult, you probably need to find a different tool or find a tool to begin with. So I saw the Grebe. I'm looking at my Leatherman. I'm looking at a step-down drill bit, which makes consecutively larger holes with a drill. And I'm thinking to myself, man, this thing could be just a little bit better. So I made it longer so it could be used in hand. It was, added the steps to it, added a front end to it. Took it to a, I actually sent an email out, sent a phone call, and sent a text message. Didn't really hear any reply back, so I figured didn't have any blessing, but I didn't have any curse either. So $600 in a patent search later, I had a approval from the patent attorney that it could be done. So went forward with that, had a patent pending status, and found a manufacturer. The unit was originally made out of wood. That was just the only medium I had available. I'm a I'm a minimum wage kind of person. I work up at the Advanced Auto Parts, slinging car parts. But this seemed like a good idea, and it was worth throwing a little bit of savings at, and now I have a patent. So
nice. That's awesome. How long did it take you to get from the beginning of the idea to actually having the patent and making it?
Let me see. So I got my business license August of 2017. I think it was August 29th. And at that time, I think I had the wood lathe in my shop for a week or two. I had kind of come up with a basically the rough step down design. It was much smaller, still had a flat top to it. I think I finalized the design probably in the next month or two. Bought a nice wood lathe because the first one I bought was real cheap. Not if you want to produce quality, you got to have quality equipment. So bought a nice wood lathe, turned it out, came up with a finalized design, took it. So I'd say it was about 2 months from start on the wood lathe to coming up with a final design. From there, patent attorney, and it took about a year and a half to get a patent. And right about the time the patent came through, I had already been in talks with the silicone manufacturer about designing the body for the Grong. Units came in March of 2019. I think I had my first units in hand.
Nice.
So
just in time for 420.
Just in time. So they've been here in silicone since about March of 2019, and since then I've sold just around 1,000 units, I think, so far.
Congratulations.
So looking up, I've got an Amazon listing pending right now. Working out the kinks in that logistics.
Nice.
Right there.
And you can now come to higher education.
Oh, absolutely. No, if you're in Richmond, please
go to
or Charlottesville, go to higher education. Go see the fine people there. Support your local business.
So we have them at our Charlottesville store is at 619 West Main Street, and you can call there at 434-293-PUFF, or the Richmond store is 2307 West Carey Street, and the phone number there is 804-254-PUFF.
How about Grong? Where did the name come from?
Oh, that one.
Should we save that for segment 3?
I'm a linguist. I love wordsmithing. It's a contraction of the most prominent function of the Grong, which is a gravity
bong.
Gravity bong.
Yeah. Okay. Duh. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Well, with that,
and you can't say bong, so
yeah,
right, it's a contraction of gravity water pipe.
Exactly.
So let's take another break, and come back, and I've got a question.
All right, so we're gonna go and take another break, see how this gravity.
Yeah, we'll have to go test
the
out
Grong
the Grong.
takes.
Yeah,
works. We'll be back after these messages. Higher education, coffee talk.
I'm here to share my journey just for you. It all started out with the higher ed crew. Down on West Main, I was hanging with a friend when we saw the higher ed sign down around the bend. My boys said, let's check it. It could be a banging shop. When we walked into the store, man, it made my jaw drop. There were tubes and handpipes, rigs and more. They even have a water pipe as tall as the door. Gas masks, rollers, papers made of rice. Sure-ish, dish, it was a smoker's paradise. My jaw dropped, my eyes popped. Boy, I was feeling. Then the friendly shopkeep said, yo, hey, how you feeling? I said, wow, this your shop. It's really, really great. I just stumbled in, yo, man. It must be fit. You got the packs, volcano, and even the kind. Man, you know the taste can be real hard to find. You got Roar, Pulsar, and Sheldon Black. Damn, you know I'm definitely coming back. This place is cool, dope, and really nice. That's why higher education is the smoker's paradise. Now offering curbside pickup and shipping direct to your door. Higher education, Charlottesville's CBD Superstore since 2017, providing high-quality CBD and education about all its amazing benefits. Higher education, because CBD is a lifestyle, not just a greener trend.
Welcome back. It's Coffee Talk. We're here with Clay and his Grong, the Grong guy.
Hey. So the last segment, you said that we
Grong again.
You emphasized the use of water pipe. Do you think after July 1st, guys, we will be able to say bong? Is that
that is a good question. Why?
Well, first of all, you can't say bong because it's a federal law that says a bong is something that's associated with marijuana, whereas a water pipe can be used for
tobacco use only, which is how most
tobacco or
water...
other legal herbal blend. Because now we
sure.
can smoke CBD out of our water pipes.
That's true.
And July 1st, it's still federally illegal. So I don't think higher education will be using the word bong in the store.
So I'll always say water pipe. Just
it's still a water pipe.
just
if you
to be
say bong, we're gonna tell you you're wrong.
Sorry, we don't have those here.
But
but you can say grong.
That's right.
But you can get your
nothing
grong.
wrong with a grong.
That's right.
I can't do it.
What? You can't take the glass piece out?
I can't do it. My finger's too little.
So what happens if you?
Sweaty.
So
You
what
were
I normally do
fantastic.
is
He
I
just
turn
did it
the
again. It
unit
looks so
upside
easy.
down and I stick my pinky in there and I just kind of rock it from left to right and work it out.
That's
now, if your pinky's
expertise.
too big, we may have to come up with another solution or a more convenient
Can
way
you
to-
use a toothpick to pull it out from the
You know
edges?
what
or will
works
that?
really well is a Sharpie. If you have a Sharpie and you just stick it in there and just kind of pry it, it'll come right out.
Wow.
So I'm kind of rough with things, and I think Dawn
There's
is too.
a 3 millimeter thick glass
You did it.
piece in there.
Okay.
Very thick.
It's
Well, with a
very
little
durable.
rocking, I got it out first try.
Right.
Just, that's the key is
just
to
a-
rock it a little
And it
bit.
has a really nice size hole underneath there, so it's not going to clog easily.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
the silicone's real smooth, so if it does clog, it takes literally 30 seconds once you're used to it to grab a toothpick and 2 or 3 Q-tips, pull it out, pop the holes, run the Q-tips through the silicone, and you're back in business.
And there's 7 holes in the bottom of the glass.
There are. That is a first edition. All units after the first editions will be 5 holes, as the manufacturer of the glass said that there were just too many breakage issues trying to make 7 holes. I personally, I went with the 7 holes. I like anime. I'm a Dragon Ball Z fan, so that was my little Easter egg for Dragon Ball Z. Get your unit quick, while it's got the 7 holes in it. There's only 1,000 of them.
I love that. I have no idea who Dragon Ball Z is.
It's all right.
I'm pretty clueless. You don't know this, but apparently I've seen nothing, so they like to talk about TV shows or movies, and I just kind of sit here.
Oh, that's okay. I much prefer reading myself.
Exactly.
I find that TV programming does just that. So you have to be very careful with what you program into yourself. You are
agree.
the sum of your experiences.
I agree. I kind of miss that about having young children because you read books all the time to them.
Right.
And it just is amazing what you'll end up reading that you probably wouldn't read.
Right,
Just,
right. No, the act of teaching children causes much learning in
Oh,
itself.
it's so fucking amazing. I read so many classics in the last 15 years just, because.
Man, books are amazing. I will say that right around I had depression for most of my life. And right around 27, I actually, for the first time, decided that I was going to try something a little crazier than pot. I actually didn't start smoking cannabis until I was 22. I had just gotten out of the Marine Corps. I had been pretty straight most of my life, but my friends were like, "Hey, you're free. You want to try this?" I'm like, "Yeah, Willie Nelson's doing all right. It can't be that bad for you, right?" So, yeah, I'll give this thing a shot. And, well, honestly, I've been high ever since. But a lot of us are not neurotypical, and we all cope with our own neuro problems in different ways. But I had a problem. A girlfriend of mine had a problem with heroin, and I was looking for just about any solution I could find, and had discovered that psilocybin mushrooms had been proven to be highly effective for helping people recover from addictive substances. and she seemed to have a positive result from that. Now, if I decided that if they could help her with that, maybe I'd give them a shot. Maybe I'd look into it. So changed my life. Absolutely, just totally fixed all of my problems. After my first experience with psilocybin, I used about every 3 months or so. I started thinking those things just thoughts I didn't want in my head, have a hard time getting rid of. Used it quarterly until my 28th birthday. After a year of using psilocybin, you really start thinking about things, all kinds of things. It really, it's mind opening. You really want to know more. And I decided that maybe drugs weren't everything that I was told that they were. Maybe each drug was unique. Maybe the drugs that we use every day are actually more harmful to us than the ones that we're not supposed to use. And I looked into it and I realized, everybody said, "Oh, you do some mushrooms, do some LSD," and I said, "Well, LSD is, that sounds pretty crazy. I don't know if that's something for me." But again, after a year using mushrooms, I started doing my research and came to find that a lot of really, really smart people thought that maybe LSD could be very, very helpful. As it turns out, Bill Wilson, the founder of AA, pretty much got thrown out of his own group for suggesting that people would have profound experiences, and it was almost a necessary part. Finding God is still a necessary part of the steps of AA, and he thought that utilizing these substances could, in fact, help people find that kind of experience. So 28th birthday rolled around, and I said, you know what? That's it. I've found a source. I found 3 people to test it to make sure it was right, and I said, I'll give this thing a go. And 2-3 weeks of slowly increasing dosage, I came to this realization: I don't like being out of my head for 8 to 10 hours. I like getting things done, and I invented microdosing for myself. A week later, I found out it was a thing, but microdosing, taking very, very tiny amounts, almost like a vitamin of these substances. And while LSD may not be for everyone, you certainly need to do your own research, but it's very arguable that, of course, we started with books, but so I started microdosing LSD, and I realized that my brain was a computer, and that my biggest problem was that I didn't work well with people. I just didn't understand what it took to communicate with them and to get things done. And if I wanted to sell anything or do anything for the world, what good is it if I can't sell it to somebody, if I can't make them want it? So I started with How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And that book just set my brain right. Oh, yeah. Four key takeaways from that book: smile, make eye contact, remember their name, and let them talk more than you do, and anyone will be your friend. True story. And I took those principles and I went out and I applied it. I went to the bar where I was awkward and weird.
I was thinking about the email I sent him where I was like, dude, I can't remember your name.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's good. It's good. But so that's a game I play now. I make sure that I even carry around a notepad, and when nobody's looking, I turn around and write down people's names so that I get a visual reference, And so
I'm notorious for not remembering names.
I'm so bad with names.
It's I
can handle the other 3 though.
It's a little life hack. It's a life hack for sure.
I'm good with the smiling part. Apparently, I'm like almost always smiling.
Oh, good.
Right?
Yeah,
I got that one.
That works for you.
The rest of it, I'm like, I don't.
How about letting the other people talk more than you do?
Can't do that one.
Oh, that one's tough, man. That is the hardest part. That is the hardest part for sure. I know.
Hey, Dawn, you have to pivot though, because I guess not now, but in the last year we couldn't see your smile because of the mask.
Yeah. There was a whole.
Well, that just means you have to smile that much harder. You can tell when people are really
in their
smiling.
eyes. Yeah.
Yeah,
big cheese.
It's all right. They want to make it hard for us to communicate and share our happiness with people at a distance. You got this. Smile harder.
Yes. I have squinted up eyes from all their big smiles.
Yeah. So.
Is that why your eyes are squinty?
No. But yeah. So the other really cool book to check out is The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. That really helped me understand how people went about the act of peopling out there in the world. And people can be really cruel, but it's important to know the rules, the laws of power, so that you can, say, prevent someone from using these tools against you. 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Amazing book. And if you finish that and like it, he also wrote Mastery, which talks about the 10,000 hour rule and goes on to say that there is something beyond that, the 20,000 hour rule, where you're not only the master of the craft that you're doing, but all aspects of what it takes to do that craft, which I thought was really interesting. He also wrote, you may be familiar with The Art of Seduction, another interesting book on how to people. But so between the 48 Laws and How to Win Friends and Influence People, man, that really just, I don't know how I'd be in business right now without those two books and the right dietary supplements. So you just everybody's got to find what works for them.
And using the Grong will help with you get those dietary supplements in your body.
That's right. Curious if I might continue, the third book that I think is just absolutely fabulous and everyone should look into this. If you have a religion or are just curious, what the heck has happened on this planet in the last 100,000 years? How did we come to intelligence? What are we? Where did we come from? Food of the Gods by Terence McKenna suggests that pretty radical hypothesis that perhaps it was the effect of psilocybin mushrooms in our diet. As we chased around these animals for food, we also found other food sources in their dung, and it was our use of psilocybin mushrooms that in small doses increased visual acuity. Visual acuity, better hunting, longer lasting. The ones that used it would be more survivable than the ones that didn't. At slightly higher doses, you get CNS arousal or central nervous system, or you get arousal. And of course, animals that breed more, they're going to proliferate more. And I think if I recall, the reason that Homo sapiens outlasted Neanderthals was not necessarily because we were more intelligent, but we simply outbred them. We wouldn't, if catastrophe struck, there were simply more of us around to survive. But the other interesting thing was that at even slightly higher doses, you find yourself stuck far away from the campfire, wondering what is this thing that we're here doing. It's actually been, I believe, proven at this point that just about all cave art, all original, instances of people deciding to take an idea and to make it transcend time by writing it down have been directly under the influence of some type of psychedelic substance, most likely mushrooms. So it's very possible that mushrooms and our interactions with them, maybe obviously there's always compounding factors, including our increased dietary, supplements of meat. We are now eating a lot more meat, so that's another major contributing factor. But between eating meat and having psilocybin in our diet, I believe that's what caused one of the largest changes in a vital organ, that being the brain, in such a short period of time, and caused language and culture and the reason that we are the thinking, conscious, self-aware creatures that we are today. I would go so far as to argue that not having it is the reason that we're all, as a society, insane. I mean, I'm sorry, I just don't understand war and poverty. It doesn't make any sense to me.
So do you think that we need meat? Is that what you're saying?
I think that meat was a necessary component in the evolutionary stage to come to this point. I think that there is a way to sustainably consume meat. I don't think it's necessary per se. I think it should be a choice for people, as long as that choice includes ethical and sustainable sourcing.
I think at this point, we especially as Americans, eat so much meat in our diet that it's
become
unnecessary. It's unhealthy and it's actually killing us. I was wondering when you were saying it. I think it makes sense throughout history. You get a little bit of meat here and there because you're only going to be able to kill so many animals.
Sure.
But for the most part, most of your food comes from gathering of some
right,
sort.
Absolutely.
And now we've really gotten the majority of our diet is meat, and we're watching it destroy things, our bodies.
The planet.
And the planet, yes.
Yeah.
And it's killing us. I mean,
the economy surrounding it, yeah.
Yeah,
and we're cutting down the rainforest to grow soya beans.
So that we could feed
cattle, so we can all eat hamburgers.
Yes.
Graham Hancock. if you guys like all this stuff, check out Graham Hancock. Graham Hancock, man, guy makes me cry sometimes thinking about this stuff. But Graham Hancock and Joe Rogan podcast, man, that guy will blow your mind. You talk about the pyramids and how they got there and all that other stuff. I mean,
the idea that, at this point, I know that my father's getting older, and every time he goes to the doctor, almost everything that is he's sick, illness, oldness, old age, all of it has everything to do with his diet and eating garbage, eating processed foods, eating meat that it just is hard on your kidneys, especially as you get older. Sugars, salt, the preservatives. People don't think about it, but we have so much high blood pressure in our country, and people go, "I don't eat salt." Well, it's in everything you eat. Everything that you have as a preservative has probably got salt in it. So you start looking at something you didn't consider. I mean, this water I'm drinking probably has salt in it. Of course, it doesn't tell me because it's not meant to be sold that way. But more than likely, it has salt in it. There's sodium in almost everything.
Sure.
And it's insane, and our diets are killing us. Having a more natural diet.
Sugar, I argue that most people are addicted to sugar, whether they realize it or not.
Absolutely.
And you'd be surprised
More
at how
addictive than nicotine.
it is. There's so much sugar in everyone's diet, and sugar is not sugar is really, really unhealthy. As a matter of fact, that book I was telling you about, Food of the Gods, I want to say that Terrence McKenna wrote in there that slavery before sugar was only interpersonal. It was the pursuit of acquiring more sugar that was the first time that people went out and actually said, "Hey, we're going to go snag other people from another place so that we can grow more of this sugar." They wanted sugar so badly they were willing to compromise their morals.
I'm like anti-sugar, and what like Dawn was saying as far as like her dad and health issues. My dad has a ton of health issues, and so I really push this no sugar thing, and I've gone as far as to like I don't have like even to bake or cook, I don't keep sugar in my house. So if any recipe calls for it, I'm like, oh shit, out of luck, guess I'm not making that. But I will say not I guess on the top of my mind, Mountain Dew is something that I've always drank. And of course, that has a shit ton of sugar in it. But I like to still tell people I don't like sugar, but yet I still have this, like you said, addiction to this one particular beverage. And I don't add sugar to coffee, nothing like that. But my weak spot is Mountain Dew and alcohol. That has sugar in it.
That's
so beverages.
My father came out of the hospital maybe a month ago, and he is a diabetic who has stage 5 kidney failure. And he is just in a terrible place, really, right? Sure. And so he was in the hospital because at the end of his, during a visit to the dialysis, his blood pressure went crazy, everything went crazy, and they thought he had a stroke. I mean, just hell. In the hospital, all kinds of crazy stuff. And in the hospital, they serve him hospital food, which should be the best food in the world. Apparently, it's garbage.
Don't even get me started on
it's
that.
Nonsense. And then, at some point, I'm like, all right, so now I'm in charge of your diet. You're going to eat what I say. And I have been feeding this man. So it has been 3 weeks. And in 3 weeks' time, my father's A1C, which is apparently some number we got to watch and has something to do with the sugar and stuff, used to be over 11. We are down to a 7.2.
Wow.
How did that happen? That's because of a crap diet.
Yeah.
We took away all kinds of, he's not eating any bread right now. He's eating lots of fresh vegetables, fresh fruit. He's not eating any egg yellows because egg yellows are just really bad on your kidneys.
Oh, okay.
They have an acid in them that's just really bad if you have poor kidney function. So he's eating like a 3 egg white omelet with lots of red peppers. Red peppers are great for kidney function. Some mushrooms. Each day it's different mushrooms. We're doing some shiitake. We're doing what I can find at the stores.
Sure.
And then a side plate of some strawberries or some kind of berry, which is technically sugar, but you're getting so much protein with it, and you're getting the fiber, and that's what you need so that it actually can be used.
Right. And I believe there's a big difference between the, correct me if I'm wrong, sucrose that you find in the natural sugars that you are going to find in fruits are very different from the processed
and you
sugars.
want the sugar to come in, like the juice is bad because you're not getting all that extra fiber, because the fiber kind of connects with the sugar and at least some of it leaves your body as well. That's important.
That's right.
And then, so in the meantime, he has had his insulin levels reduced by half. His blood pressure medicine's half. He hasn't been back to the hospital, even though he's going to dialysis 3 times a week. He hasn't been forced into the emergency room. And all of this is literally a diet change. Something as simple as, a minor little diet change. And basically it's happening because he doesn't have a car and he has no choice but to eat what I feed him.
Choice, right.
And he's arguing this point with me, telling me he needs a car. And I said to him, you're not getting a fucking car.
So you can go out
and drive me nuts. Right. So so he said to me, and this was so cute, he said, I promise I'm not going to get junk food. I don't even miss it anymore. I don't even miss it.
I've heard that before. Yeah.
And I'm waiting because I'm sure as soon as I give him the car keys, he is going to be up the street with a hamburger in his mouth from Wendy's or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, man. We are our own worst enemies.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, literally, this has been months and months, years. He's been on dialysis for 2 years. I literally took control in the last month, complete control. And they're talking to him about putting him back on a donors list potentially. He hasn't been on a kidney donors list because they couldn't. With the A1C, what it is, and all these numbers being so bad, they won't even waste someone's kidney on him.
Right.
And he literally, we've been working on it for a few months, but in the last month, we have done so much that they're like, all right, now let's work on that heart. And
That's
you can
amazing.
be on the kidney. And fucking food. This is all it is fucking food.
Yeah.
It's insane. And I'll tell you how crazy it is. The nurse said to me,
You are what you eat.
Yeah, absolutely. The nurse said to me, it's normal to eat carbs. He should eat some bread every meal. And I said, no. Carbs are
It's
sugars.
normal for you.
Right.
What is normal?
Since we took it off of the diet, his blood sugar has been so much better. He's not pumping all this extra insulin in his body, which of course is a free radical.
Sure.
And it's going to destroy other things. And I just think it's a matter of time. If I can keep him like this, I think in another month, he might actually be bebopping around instead of using that cane once in a blue moon. But it's amazing. Diet is everything. So smoke lots of legal things in your pipes you get from higher education and in your grongs, and eat healthy.
Gotta get that diet.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So come visit us at Higher Education. We're going to take a break. I think it's over for the week. We'll see you guys next week. This is Dawn. Seth's here with Higher Education. Ashley with 3WV. And Clay with Grong. See, I got it. The Grong man. The Grong guy. Come visit us at Higher Education, 619 West Main Street in Charlottesville, 2307 West Carey Street in Richmond, or online at Higher Education...
Smokeshop.com.
HigherEducationSmokeshop.com.
Get your grong.
Get your grong.
Grong.
Yo, Grong.